The news, good evening. Fitch rating agency has downgraded Seychelles' long-term foreign currency rating from B plus to B, but with a positive outlook. Investors use the rating as a guide as to which investment will not default and subsequently yield a solid return. The Minister for Finance, Economic Planning and Trade, Nadi Hassan, says in a press conference that this was expected because of the adverse effect of the COVID-19 pandemic.
That rating is driven by the fact that our economic situation has worsened. In fact, from May, where we received a 2-notch downgrade, the tourism sector has not recovered because the pandemic is ongoing. And what that has meant is our economic forecast, the contraction in our economy is going to be more than what was anticipated in May. And in view of that, government has been spending significant funds to support private sector, and that has driven up the debt. So the deficit of the budget is more, so the debt has gone up. But we also know that we have a stable outlook, and that is based of the view that we had a peaceful transition of power, which shows that there is political stability in the country. And there's also the anticipation in view of the coming online of the vaccine that in 2021 we're going to have some sort of economic recovery. It's going to be a slow economic recovery, but a potential recovery nonetheless.
The Office of the President has announced the creation of a committee responsible for reviewing the names of all roads in Victoria linked to the 1977 coup d'etat. The committee will have the responsibility to propose new names to replace those that should be changed. It will also be engaged in the task of proposing names for new roads and estates. Recommendations will be submitted to the President for further consideration by the Cabinet of Ministers. The Mayor of Victoria, Mr. David André, is the chairperson. Judge Bernardin Renault is the vice chairperson, and the members of the committee are Mr. Bernard Georges, Dr. Odile Dekomamon, Beryl Ondiek, Julie Lau, and Mr. Tony Machot. Seychelles has received the Greening the Islands Award for solar school projects. This has been described as one of the best practices to accelerate sustainability and self-sufficiency of islands. The CEO of the Energy Commission, Tony Imadua, has explained that the award is held every year for small island states. 6 schools are already complementing the solar school project, and Mr. Imadua has called on others to do likewise. There's a treat in store for astronomy fans tonight when 2 planets visible from the west coast will appear to converge. SBC News is live in Glassy this evening to witness the so-called conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn. And we now go live to our journalist Patrick Moorhead, who's standing by live at Glassy. Patrick.
Well, it's happening tonight. In fact, it's happening live right now. We're on the west coast at Glassy to experience this with astronomers all over the world who tonight are hoping to see a conjunction of 2 planets, Jupiter and Saturn, which will appear to converge. And with me is astronomy enthusiast David Plows. What is this conjunction you speak of?
Well, basically, for the first time in 800 years, we're able to see Saturn and Jupiter pass as close as they have done, and apart from a vaguely similar one in 2080, not to be seen again for thousands of years, so a very rare event.
Just how close?
About 1/10 of a degree, which is very, very close astronomically.
Very close indeed. And you have brought with you this magnificent instrument, this telescope that is pointing at this conjunction. And we can actually show you a shot. We've plugged a camera into it. We can show you a live shot from that telescope. What are we looking at here?
Basically, the larger and brighter one is Jupiter, and the smaller one is the planet Saturn. And they are basically, their moons are almost overlapping each other.
And we're very lucky, aren't we, here, situated where we are, to be able to see this?
Yes. As I said, the first time visible for 800 years, and actually within an hour they're going to be passing as close as they're ever going to. So we're very blessed to have this time and a beautiful night.
Beautiful night for it, and Seychelles is ideally located, isn't it?
It is very much so, because the next pass will be over land, but in the next hour or so it's only us here looking at it.
Magnificent. Okay, well, David Powers, thank you very much indeed. I can tell you that theologians and astronomers all over the world tonight are speculating that this celestial event might have been seen 2,000 years ago by the wise men, as depicted in Scripture, seeing the Star of Bethlehem. They thought it was a star. It might have been a conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn. And this is a rare opportunity indeed. The next time we'll see it with such clarity at night will be in about 5,500 years' time. So it's a long time to wait. Better pop outside tonight and try your luck. Marie-France.
Thank you, Patrick. And of course, if you have binoculars, please don't miss this chance to see the phenomenon, which, as Patrick says, will not happen for another 5,500 years. More and more children are now ending up at children's homes. The minister responsible for social affairs says to deal with the issue, it's working to put the right services and intervention in place to protect children from abuse and neglect, which is the main cause of the problem. Minister Patricia Francoux was speaking after a visit this afternoon along with the First Lady Linda Ramkalawon at the foyer de Nazareth at Anse-Étoile, where 15 boys aged from 4 to 15 reside.
I know there is a huge piece of work being done out there in terms of prevention, so that children are protected and not being allowed to be abused, because it's most of the time and often at home that these kind of abuses start. We have a duty of care to be able to protect the children. So if the numbers are in the increase, therefore our message out there is we all need to be able to take responsibility to ensure that children remain safe, and it's so important for them to be safe. At the end of the day, when you move a child, you must ensure that where the child is going, the child is safe and the child is happy and the needs of the child are also being met.
Fashion Week for this year has been toned down to very few designers and models in view of the COVID-19 pandemic. 5 designers, including an international Nigerian designer, participated in the event yesterday. The event's organizer, Terry Karola, urged concerned ministries to put more emphasis on giving values to art, creativity, and talent, as it is a form of revenue. And with this, we've come to the end of this news summary. Thanks for watching.